Oh yeah, it's the weekend. You know what that means. It's time for the most entertaining hour of your weekend. It's time for Pixels and Bits on theovershield.com. With your hosts, Corey.
Let me answer those questions with a question. Who wants to make $60? Cash.
And Parker.
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
And now, broadcasting from the HQ in Missouri, it's time for Pixels and Bits.
Ooh, welcome on to Pixels and Bits on theovershield.com. My name is Corey. Hi. Welcome. As I said, my name is Corey, and over here we got...
Parker. Wait, one moment. I'm picking you up on my mic.
Oh, well, that's okay. Okay, and, yeah, well, welcome to the show. We got, this is our very first episode of Pixels and Bits. And
So expect technical difficulties.
yes. And, this is, gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. So for those who don't know us, many don't know us, of course. My name is Corey, and I am the founder and currently dictator of the site.
Theovershield.com.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if you said it or not.
I don't know.
Oh, were you saving it? I'm sorry, I killed
didn't-
your thunder.
It's all right. And then over here we got Parker.
Yeah, Corey and I went to school together, and for a very short time worked together before he got his ass fired, so.
That was fun. And so let's kind of just jump into this. We're gonna hit you guys with the Overshield news desk. So let's get ready for that. All right. So first story. I'm not sure if you heard, Parker, but last week at around Wednesday night, I thought the internet was going to catch on fire because the man himself, Mr. Miyamoto, Shigeru Miyamoto of Nintendo, Wired said that he was announcing that he was going to retire from Nintendo.
Yeah, WTF. Like, I at least hope if he does retire that he's going to at least have, a say, creative influence in what comes out. I just hope he doesn't completely step down, just like period. Like,
Okay,
he's no
but-
longer going to be part.
But that's not the end of it. It turns out Wired was wrong.
Oh, really?
It turns out that there was like a mistranslation or something. And then immediately, like the day following this story came out, Nintendo said, no, he is not leaving. Investors, please be okay, because apparently, like, right when this announcement came out, Nintendo's stock dropped like 3% in like just a few hours.
Really?
It is ridiculous. And so yeah, Nintendo came out and said that it was a result of a misunderstanding at Wired, and that quote-unquote video game designer Shigeru Miyamoto's role at Nintendo is not changing. He will continue to be a driving force in Nintendo's development affairs. And discussing his priorities at Nintendo in a media interview, Mr. Miyamoto explained how he's encouraging younger developers at the company to take more initiative and responsibility for developing software. And what Miyamoto says that he's not... This is what the mistranslation was, is that Wired thought he said, oh, I'm retiring now. But what Miyamoto says, eventually he would like to leave his current position and then work on newer, smaller intellectual properties at Nintendo.
Okay.
So, like, if we get, like, another Pikmin, I'll be happy.
Well, I loved Pikmin too. I actually kicked my friend's ass last night in Super Smash Bros. With Olimar. And he's like, how did you do that? I'm like...
That's a good question. Whenever you get your ass kicked with Olimar, just like, WTF, how did this happen? I got kicked by a midget in a spacesuit. Sorry, little person.
Yeah, what is the official term? Dwarf? Is it dwarf nowadays?
It's little person.
Is it little person?
Okay, I think we need to move on because now we're starting to hit bigotry here. All right, next story. Okay, you ever played Half-Life?
I have. I never owned it, but I played the crap out of it at my friend's house.
When was the last time Half-Life came out?
It's been a long time.
It's been about 4 years, going on 5 years now.
Not as
And
long as Duke Nukem, though.
No. But nobody's seen Half-Life Episode 3. Nobody's seen it. There's been like 2 concept images. Nobody's seen it. Well, Gabe Newell, who is the president of Valve, he came out in a tweet and said, I don't suppose it would ease your wrath if I told you that we're announcing all of your favorite things at E3 2012. This immediately caused just a huge reaction from the fans. They're like, what is it? What's going on? What's going on? He's like, I can see how wording caused him some confusion here. Yes, we're announcing something with a 3 in it. But that's extremely vague. Look at all the intellectual properties they have. It could be like, it could be Team Fortress 3. It could be Left 4 Dead 3. It could be Portal 3. It could be Half-Life 3.
You're right.
I'm praying to God it's Half-Life 3 and not another Left 4 Dead because, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Left 4 Dead 2 is awesome, but God damn it, I think it's time we got some Half-Life.
Well, the thing about Left 4 Dead is it has such a large community that there's all these mods out for it, and people will make custom maps that you almost don't need another game.
Yeah, it's almost like Counter-Strike.
Yeah, like Counter-Strike Source were, great games. People made these maps for it, so it's like you don't really need Valve to put out another Counter-Strike game. Just, keep building on the second Counter-Strike, and I hope they realize that because it's about time Half-Life 3 came out, because 5 years? It's way too long.
Oh yeah, way too long between episodes. It's got to be like Half-Life 3. I'm not gonna personally. I will not be happy if they come out and say, hey, it's gonna be Half-Life 2 Episode 3, and I'm like, no, it can't be an episodic game. It's got to be a full-blown game if you're taking this long.
5 years, yeah. It needs to be Half-Life 3 or nothing.
Yeah, if it's released in the next fall, it'll be 6 years. It means they had 6 years to make this.
6 years with basically 2 concepts released over that time period of what's going on. I mean, a trailer would be nice or something.
Yeah.
Maybe a example of gameplay video. Always like those.
I don't even need a gameplay. I just wanted the game to be confirmed. I just want it to be confirmed to know that, like, yes, they're actually making it. It's gonna happen. That would just make me feel better.
I hate to get off topic here, but have you seen the trailer for The Last of Us?
Oh yes. So that was at the VGAs.
That looks awesome.
Yes, that does look awesome. And now we are getting off topic.
Yeah, but it's video game related, so it's not a big deal.
I guess. All right. So
just wanted to say I really like that.
Okay, moving on. Next story. Blizzard is interested in mobile games, a WoW movie, and Diablo 3 on the consoles.
A WoW movie? That'd be pretty sweet. Not gonna lie, I would love that.
All they need to do is just take like every CG they ever made for like WoW, just put it out in the theaters and everybody watch it.
Yeah, just string it together, put a little, transitions between the scenes, and it'll be like a whole full-blown movie.
Yeah.
Night Elf running through the forest.
Oh, they make tens of millions. Like one.
Yeah, it's not like they don't have enough money.
Not to mention they already have like probably one of the biggest established fan bases.
Yeah, as far as Diablo 3 on the console, I would actually look forward to that.
That would be interesting, but like to me, like there's a part of me that says just no, because Blizzard has been strictly a PC developer
They have
for the longest time. I don't think the last console game they made, it was either back before they were Blizzard or it was StarCraft 64, but I think that was an outsourced project. I'm not sure.
I don't blame them for wanting to get into the console market because it is a very large market, and within the next year, the next generation consoles are going to start coming out, or they're going to start being revealed, and I realize they want to get their hands in that, but they just need to make sure that they don't forget who made them pop.
I mean, yeah,
and
there's been,
that's definitely the PC gamers.
yeah, there's been definitely, like, in the past few years, there's been companies that were strictly PC only, and then they moved to consoles, and it seems like they've kind of slowly but surely starting to forget the PC crowd. They've been, for example, controversy, Battlefield 3 with the Origin system, and I honestly actually feel bad for DICE because they were forced into that. And I don't think it was part of their decision. I think it was just EA being really greedy and them not wanting to have to deal with Valve and Steam.
EA has kind of pissed me off the last year. Just kind of the stuff they've been doing about that, the Origins thing, and that's a good example. Was EA mainly PC when they first started out?
I actually do not know.
I know EA does a lot of no, it's not the Madden games, or is it?
They do the Madden games.
They do the Madden games, and those are very popular on the console.
It doesn't mean they're getting better.
No, they're not. Let me tell you.
All right, and so like I have to ask you, like, would you be interested in, like, say, like, the mobile games caught my interest. I'm like, when I first thought mobile games, I thought like those cheap. First thing that came to my mind is like when I first played mobile games, they were like on like cheap little games you played on your flip phone.
Yeah, like I played Pac-Man.
But now that I realize it's like, oh no, like mobile games are actually getting bigger. I mean, look at the iOS with Infinity Blade. Holy crap, that is a presentation-wise, that's an amazing looking game.
Yeah, I just saw an advertisement on Pandora for that, and I thought it was a game for a console. And it's like coming out for the iPhone. I'm like, seriously?
This is like the iPhone can run this?
Yeah. It's crazy.
It just blows your mind, like what mobile is now capable of. And it's like that. It's kind of like the line between handheld device and your phone is now starting to blur a little bit, but like now the guys like Sony and Nintendo, they're trying to make that distinction more. So like mobile games, hey, StarCraft on the iOS, there goes production levels in Asia.
Yeah, completely shot. People are going to be going to the, sitting on the pod at work playing StarCraft, and their boss is going to be, where is he? He needs to be working. Oh, he's just playing StarCraft.
All right, moving on. All right, so EJ Aonuma, he is the I think that's pronounced. He's the producer of The Legend of Zelda, has been since Ocarina of Time. He has told
Great franchise.
He has come out on Nintendo Magazine saying that the motion controls that were in Skyward Sword are here to stay. That they will not go back to traditional buttons because they believe that they just can't go back to it, because once you break that wall, you can't go back.
Now, I haven't heard much about the motion controls. A friend at work was telling me though that, like, if you're holding the Wii remote and you would twist it, that Link would actually twist the sword.
I never actually tested that, but like the motion controls are actually really accurate. It isn't like true one-to-one. It's not like you have to get your whole arm into it, but like it is extremely accurate, and it actually makes combat much more satisfying because then your enemies are very challenging. Instead of like, I was like, oh, I have to hack and slash this guy this many times, or I have to hit him with a vertical, or like a horizontal slash instead of a vertical slash or something like that. No, it's a lot more complicated than that. They have different blocking patterns. They'll read where your sword is, and then they'll anticipate where you're going to swing, so you have to counter that. And
it's really cool.
And so it's really cool, and I'm like, okay, that's awesome. But their new system, the Wii U, uses a tablet controller instead. And I'm thinking, well, since the Wii accessories are going to work with the Wii U, what this means is it's like, okay, well, we can have the motion controls on the Wii U. We can have like an HD, Uncharted-looking Zelda in terms of graphics on the Wii U. Because according to some dev kits, it's supposed to be more powerful than PS3. We don't. That hasn't been.
It's HD capabilities.
Oh yeah, and John Carmack himself loves it.
Impressive, Wii. Finally stepping up to the plate.
Yeah. But it's just like, if you're going to use a Wiimote with your new HD console that's pushing this new way of control, and it's not going to utilize that control, and you're focusing on a control base that was used in the last generation, then it kind of defeats the purpose of it being on that console. So I don't know, like, I kind of would have preferred it if honestly, like, as much as I love the motion control, I think it would have been interesting if they made, like, in Zelda game, where there was a lot more, where everything was interfaced on the touchscreen. Like, there wasn't a start menu to pull up because everything was built on that touchscreen controller.
Were they talking about having the touchscreen controller play a different role? Like, I saw a preview for it somewhere, and it was, one guy had the tablet, the other guys had the Wii remotes. And
yeah,
the guy with the tablet.
Originally, supposedly it was supposed to be like the console can use only one tablet at a time, and then Nintendo's like, okay, well, it's like we're programming it to use two at a time. I'm like, okay. So yeah, let's move on to our last story. This one's a bit funny. I assume you're familiar with a man named Deadmau5.
Yeah.
Okay, so Saturday night he performed at the VGAs as the house DJ. While he was there, Sony gave him a prototype PlayStation Vita, and so by doing so, he possessed one of the only out-of-house prototypes in the world. Well, I thought this was pretty hilarious. After the VGAs, he tweeted, and I quote, I left my PlayStation Vita in a fucking cab, calling cab company, and they say they have 500 dispatch now. Gonna be a long night.
Oh,
It turns out it was a lie.
Oh, really?
He put that, it turns out, here's what he did. He did it to freak out his management.
Because they were thinking it was going to turn into another iPhone 4 fiasco.
Yeah, and like, everybody was freaking out, and then he came out on Twitter and Facebook saying, "Oh, don't worry, I still have it." And he has a picture of the Vita in the suitcase right here, and and he's like, "Yeah, I didn't lose it. I just wanted to troll my management staff, troll lol." And I'm just like, that's genius.
Leave that to a Canadian, right?
Leave it to the Canadians to pull a troll move on Sony.
Yeah, I'm sure Sony was like freaking out.
All right, so that is the end of the news desk, and it's time to move on to our middle segment. This is the end of the year. 2011 is coming to a close. We are going to discuss our personal game of the year. Parker, why don't you start us off? What do you think is your game of the year? What do you think was the game that just stood out among the rest?
Let's say I'm going to jump on the bandwagon and say I really, really, really enjoyed Elder Scrolls Skyrim.
Really?
Really. The reason is because I just think it has improved so much over Oblivion, and I played Oblivion till, I don't know a good analogy, but I beat that game to the ground. Yeah, so I played Elder Scrolls for Oblivion till I couldn't stand it anymore. And when I heard about Elder Scrolls Skyrim, I was very skeptical. I didn't have much money, so I was like, I wasn't going to buy a game really this year. I was going to kind of wait till Christmas to get the game. And then people started talking about it. I started reading, reviews. I watched trailers. I was on YouTube all day watching it, and I just could not wait to get it. And when I finally got it, it's just been one of the best times I've had with video games in a long time. Because it's just, I really like the adventure RPG games. And I really enjoy the aspect of Skyrim that they've changed. In Oblivion, it's just, everything seems to flow much more smoothly. The fact that you don't pick a class from the very beginning, it makes a class based on the way you play. And I really like that kind of innovative way that they've done that. I'm not saying it's the first person to do it. I just think they pulled it off really, really well.
I have to ask though, like when you said you had doubts about it, did you just like did you have like this feeling that like it might be like too similar to Oblivion, that they wouldn't try to break away enough, that they...
I did. I had a feeling that it would just be another Oblivion, and that's why I really didn't want to get it. Just the same reason I never ended up buying Modern Warfare 3, because I was afraid it'd be just like Modern Warfare 2, And when my roommate got it and he started playing it, and I saw that it was just like Modern Warfare 2, I was kind of glad I didn't ever buy it. Did you end up buying it?
No, actually, I don't. Per se, okay. The game store I go through, they allow you to rent out games till you own them. So you can rent a game from their shelf, and you can just keep renting it until, like, if you've paid the equivalent of rent in terms of like $60, then the game's yours to own. And I'm just doing that with Modern Warfare because like I don't feel like paying the $60 up front, but like it's just something that's fun to break out every now and then and just like play like survival mode, like which is their horde mode.
Yeah.
And it's fun to do that and just like it's just like oh no, we're out of ammo. Quick, we gotta knife the Juggernaut. We gotta take him down.
Well, yeah, my roommate ran upstairs last night and he's like, "You guys gotta play this new survival mode. It is awesome. It's like zombies, but they shoot back."
That's kind of how I felt about it. Like I played the regular multiplayer, and the only multiplayer mode that I felt like I enjoyed was kill confirmed. And what that is like you kill somebody and it drops their dog tags, but your team will get points unless you collect the dog tags. But if the other team collects if they collects their teammate's dog tag that you're trying to pick up, your team you get kill denied instead of kill confirmed, and you have to keep getting up all these points and everything.
I've seen. I don't know if you do you listen to the Yogs cast at all?
I've watched their Minecraft videos, and I think they're just hilarious.
Yeah, I do as well. But I stumbled across one of their Modern Warfare 3 videos, which was I believe it was Lewis who was playing Kill Confirmed, and there's this guy just owning everybody, and I can see how that game mode would be fun because he would shoot someone across the map, but he wouldn't go get the dog tag, and I go, why would he not do that? And then I now understand it's because you can't run out in the middle of the field and get the dog tag because people are going to be watching for you.
And the dog tags are essentially traps, and it's so clever you can wait.
It's like a strategic tactical team deathmatch.
Yeah. No, in terms of personal shooter favorite, I had to go with Battlefield because
that's a beautiful game.
Well, because it's yes, the multiplayer it's shit. I'm sorry, not the multiplayer, the single player. What am I saying? The single player is god awful. It is the most generic story I've ever played. The only time I ever felt like I was having fun is when you're flying in that jet, and that's really about it.
And at that point, you can't even fly the jet yourself.
Yeah,
It's almost like a rail shooter.
It was disappointing, and I never once felt like I didn't feel anything for the campaign. I just I want to get through this because I have this kind of this. It's like a religious practice when I get a game. I always beat the single player before I ever touch the multiplayer.
I do as well. And that's mainly because I feel that after you play the single player, you kind of got a feel for the controls.
Oh yeah.
And shooting a bot is different than shooting fighting against an actual person. But
the people take more bullets.
Yeah, but in the single player, at least you've got a feel for how different guns feel. Because when I played the Battlefield beta, I would play with a gun, I would unlock a new gun, I would equip it. Let's try this gun and be like, oh my god, this gun is awful. I'm doing so bad this round because I've switched my gun around. So in the single player, it is nice to kind of get a feel for everything, and it kind of takes you to multiplayer. And I do that as well. I always finish the single player because I personally just really like the story. But Battlefield 3 was a bad story.
Okay, let's see. We discussed your game of the year, and then we kind of got off topic. So we just discussed shooter of the year.
Well, what's your game of the year?
My game of the year is actually is a split tie, really, and it's not a Skyrim, surprisingly enough. My split is between Portal 2 and Skyward Sword.
I called that
because one. I'm a huge Zelda fan. I love the Zelda games. I picked up my first Zelda game. I played Link to the Past. Got confused as hell. I was 4 when I did that. I was 4 or 5, and then I got Ocarina of Time when that came out, and I was 9, confused as hell. So I picked up a rental copy. So I was at where I started the game was at when you were fighting Ganondorf so I was already confused. I didn't know what to do.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
yeah, the only Zelda game that I truly like started to pick up and play from like the very beginning is when I had when a friend of mine loaned me Majora's Mask,
Yeah.
and you know what, honestly,
Love Majora's Mask.
and that was probably not the best start for me because that game pissed me off. Because it's just because I was a kid and I didn't really know the dungeons very well. I was like stuck in the first dungeon for 3 days.
That's okay. The Woodfall Temple is very difficult, and the only reason I know it's called the Woodfall Temple because I actually went back and bought Majora's Mask for the Wii,
Oh really?
and I've been playing it.
Oh, you got it on the virtual console.
Yep. I also bought Ocarina of Time and beat it.
And then but like the first Zelda game that I just truly just fell in love with, I could not stop playing it over and over again, was Wind Waker. And that's still my personal favorite.
Oh,
It
really?
is Wind Waker. Everybody says Ocarina, Link to the Past. No, for me, it's Wind Waker. Because that was just... I love the cel-shaded look because it gave the characters so much expression that you actually felt something for the characters. And to me, Tetra, favorite video game girl. Because I think she's just... She tries to be supportive, but then she realizes, oh wait, I'm a pirate. And so she has to be tough again. And like, I think it's funny how, like, I always found it funny as a kid that these grown men on her pirate ship are taking orders from someone who's a kid.
Is she truly a kid? I just thought she was a very small little person.
No, I she's like this. She's supposed to be the same age as Link, and Link is not. He's not even a teenager. He's not like a teenage Link from like Ocarina of Time. No, he's like, I think he's like 12 or 13.
13,
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and like that. And to me, the moment that ever stands out in that game was when you kill Ganondorf at the very end. I'm not going to say anything. No spoilers. For those who haven't played it. But Skyward Sword, it felt... I played Twilight Princess and it felt a lot like Ocarina of Time, except for the wolf mechanic, which to me felt out of place.
Well, I just felt... Don't get me wrong, I loved Twilight Princess. Finally being able to fight on horseback, finally being able to run and slash at the same time. All the stuff I wanted in Ocarina of Time. But I felt that the wolf mechanic was kind of rushed in a way. Like, it felt very choppy.
And to me, it felt out of place, kind of like like Sonic Unleashed, and all Sega showed was like the 2D Sonic levels, and then like when the game came out just out of nowhere, Werehog, and I'm like, the hell is this? And like essentially it was just a cartoony God of War ripoff. It's like you were Sonic, but he was a werehog and he can like stretch his limbs. I'm like, what the hell is this? This isn't Sonic.
Yeah, it's like Ocarina of Time meets furries. Like they're trying to get furries involved in the Zelda series.
You know, I think we're gonna get a lot of hate mail for this.
It's okay.
I just realized that.
I'm not hating against the furries. I'm just stating the obvious.
So Midna was actually she's my favorite supporting character in the whole series. Navi was annoying. Fi and Skyward Sword, she feels too robotic. She's kind of like, to me, I felt like they tried to make her like GLaDOS, where she is robotic, but she doesn't understand like everything's going on. So all she analyzes is everything is in data. So it's kind of funny, but I thought Midna was I liked her character a lot more. So, but Skyward Sword, I love the cel-shaded look. People diss on it. I know one site, like Game Trailers, they didn't like it, and I'm just like, I think it looks beautiful. I think it matched the game perfectly, and the controls felt absolutely great. The dungeons are they're devilish at times, so it's like some of the best level design I've ever seen. However, on the other side, there's Portal, and to me, what made Portal stick out as Game of the Year was not the co-op, not the new addition like gameplay changes in terms of the Portal design, but it was the characters. Stephen Merchant as Wheatley and then J.K. Simmons as Cave Johnson was absolutely brilliant. I still have the line from Cave Johnson, science isn't about why, it's about why not. That line is still stuck in my head. I love his quotes, and it's just some of the most brilliant, absolute funny writing. GLaDOS is her sadistic charm is better than ever and everything.
Yeah, Porto's always had that very sadistic type humor that, in the very first one, it's, just, when you're walking around, it goes, I can't remember exactly what she says, but it's like, don't stand directly in front of the portal gun, or we don't advise that you fall into the lava because it will kill you, We just
Yes.
want you to get to the other side where cake will be served, and it's just,
Oh, yeah.
not a lot of games kind of tie in humor like that.
And like, it's just like, most games that do try to tie in humor, it's usually like, it's not that funny. Like, one of the last games that tried to tie in humor for me that I played was Brutal Legend, where it had Jack Black, and to me that was fun at times. And I thought Jack Black, I thought he was funny, but I think that it just kind of went over the top. Plus, I kind of stopped playing the game when it got to tower defense, and I'm like, really, they put tower defense?
I never played Brutal Legend, so
They tried to put too much in it. They tried to put too much gameplay elements in it. It's like, is it a hack and slash? No. Is it a driving game? No. Is it like for a thing you command followers? No. Is it a tower defense? I'm just like, they try to put in way too much. And to me, like, one of the only games that can actually like put in so many like game elements and then get away with it is like, this is some of the stuff that Nintendo makes. But like, just like they didn't nail it. And like, and Tim Schafer, he's a genius at game design. And some of the stuff he comes up is just downright awesome. But I think he tried to do too much with Brutal Legend, and that's kind of how I felt about that. But like, that was just one of the games that tried to be funny and just didn't
work.
Yeah. There's this time. Yeah, were there times that I laughed? Yeah, but it just kind of, that was initially, and just kind of faded.
But that's the thing, though. A game that you laugh while you play the game, but then when it's over, it's not even a second thought. That's a game that didn't really work. A game like Portal 2, Portal 1, Portal 2, where, you set yourself that it sticks with you, like you remember all those quotes. Obviously, they did something right if it stays with you this long.
I can go back and play that game a second time, and those quotes are still funny to me.
Exactly.
Because like, it's not about the writing that was perfect, but it was the timing with everything, and humor is all about timing. And to me, Valve is one of the only developers right now that kind of got that. Yeah, sure, there's Naughty Dog with Uncharted, and like, I love Nathan Drake's like charm and everything, and I love how his timing with his lines and everything is perfect, and it's pretty funny. Mm-hmm. Though he's not the most original character, because everybody knows, if you watch Firefly, he's pretty much a ripoff of Captain Mal. So yeah, for me, I'm split on Game of the Year. It's either between Portal and Skyward Sword. Everybody says Skyrim. I'm not gonna jump on the bandwagon, honestly. I played Skyrim, and it's great, but it didn't stick out as the best for me. It wasn't the most unique experience. All right, so that's the end of the middle segment. So it's time to move on to our second news desk. I don't think I even really have a name for this.
Funny news article time.
Yeah, just random news article time of just people doing stupid stuff. That's essentially what it is. Okay, so first one. If you were addicted to, say, like meth, where would you get it?
Well, seeing as we're in Missouri, you could get it anywhere.
That's probably true.
But you would probably get it from a drug dealer. Am I correct?
Well, how about a Walmart?
Selling meth?
Okay. Here's the story. Tulsa police arrested a 45-year-old woman. They said mixed chemicals together to make methamphetamine inside a Walmart store. She didn't have the money to make the purchases of the chemicals that were needed, so she just took what was out of the bottle to make them.
Holy... And she was like making it in like the bathroom or something?
Yes!
And you said Tulsa?
Yeah, this was in Tulsa.
Leave it to freaking Oklahoma to do that. Jesus. Honestly, I kind of would expect something like that to happen in Missouri.
Unfortunately,
but I guess there's enough meth to go around in Missouri that people don't really need to make it in a freaking Walmart bathroom. Alright,
so... No, I don't know. I just don't know what she was thinking. It's just like... It's just so you're just like stuffing it in like her coat and just like sneaking into the bathroom. Just like
I guess I'll have to make it myself then.
exactly. I don't understand the logic in that. This one defies all logic. Right here, this next news story. A kidnapper suing his victims.
I've heard about stuff like this. Like, guys that get, like, go ahead with yours, but I've got one after that that's pretty funny.
A kidnapper is suing his victims, claiming they reneged on a verbal contract in which they agreed to hide him in exchange for cash. Jesse Dimmick, a fugitive wanted on a murder charge, broke into the Topeka, Kansas home of newlyweds Jared and Lindsay Rowley in September of 2009. The couple fed him Cheetos and Dr. Pepper and watched the film Patch Adams to gain his trust, then fled the house after he fell asleep to call the cops.
Yeah, Patch Adams will put you to sleep.
In the tussle that followed, Dimmick was accidentally shot by Officer Guy Gardner. Yes, that's his name.
Guy Gardner?
Yes.
Sweet.
Dimmick launched a lawsuit against the city and the cop, according to the report. He is seeking $75,000 in damages, the same amount the Rowleys are suing him for. He also filed a counterclaim against the Rowleys. Dimmick said the couple is legally bound to honor an oral agreement they made to hide him.
That one's pretty good. The one I heard about happened a few years ago, but it was basically a thief broke into someone's house, and for some reason he got stuck in the garage and he had to eat dog food for a week before the family got back from their vacation.
What?
And then he ended up suing them because he had to eat dog food for a week inside the garage.
Wow.
I don't know if he won. I wish I knew. But that's almost as bad as suing McDonald's for not putting caution hot coffee on the coffee cups. You know what I mean?
Yes, I heard that story, actually.
Yeah. I spilled coffee on my lap. It's hot. I'm going to sue McDonald's for making their coffee hot, you know?
This is like, that's like suing Dairy Queen for saying, I don't want my ice cream cold. I'm suing you.
Yeah, exactly. Your ice cream caused me to get a brain freeze. You know, I'm going to
Exactly.
sue you for it being too cold. That's ridiculous. What's your next one?
Next one, this is the best one out of them all. Alright, get ready. A Ukrainian man wearing a Darth Vader costume made an unexpected appearance at City Hall in the south of the country, demanding a plot of land in which to park his spaceship.
What? Did he have like a Star Destroyer that he needed to land?
I don't know. It's just like as soon as I read this news story, the article says Ukrainian Darth Vader wants a land plot for spaceship. I thought in my head, oh god, this is genius.
Yeah, can you just picture that? Okay, first of all, he's in a freaking Darth Vader costume. Like, complete helmet.
It's not even that good because in this photo you can actually see his eyes in the helmet. It's not
Well,
a horrible costume.
but still, you know, if someone in a Darth Vader costume walked into City Hall in the United States, they'd probably send him to a mental hospital. Be like, you want to park your spaceship where? Alright, someone get this guy some help. You know what I mean?
I've actually considered like doing stuff like that. It's just like walking around public places with stupid costumes on, and I'm actually thinking about one of these days getting like making a dead mouse head, and then like ordering a pizza to carry out, and it's gonna say dead mouse on it, and then I go to pick it up and wearing the dead mouse head.
That'd be funny.
But it said
Just making that head would be pretty sweet. That's a pretty cool helmet.
Alright, so the man wearing the Star Wars villain's costume was shown in a video posted walking up to the white pillars of Odessa City Hall with a plastic lightsaber as the wind ruffled his long black cloak. I am Darth Vader, he told a guard at the entrance, speaking through his voice-distorting face mask. I heard that land is being carved up in the city of Odessa, he said, holding up his right hand, and that many deputies, city administration, and the mayor have joined the dark side.
They've got cookies.
I have come for my parcel of land for the spaceship, he declared to the three blank-faced guards. The visit comes on the heels of a controversial decision by municipal authorities to distribute coveted coastal land plots among just 5 Ukrainians for free. He was one of them. Although the local mayor has publicly admitted that this was a mistake, he has not reversed the decision. The Darth Vader is shown delivering his official application to a door municipal officer who stamped it once. Who stamped it once the man removes his helmet mask, revealing his youthful appearance. And so yeah, he was forced to get out of character, I guess.
So
just the fact that this happened.
So they were just like, they just gave parts of a beach to people?
I guess it's just, but I don't know. Just to end the story, Odessa City Hall spokeswoman Anna Ochput appear offended. However, we are not the dark side. There are only Princess Leia's here.
Oh, playing along. That's nice of them.
All right, so that is the end of that people doing stupid news desk.
The official name is People Doing Stupid
That's the name we got for now. So we're going to move on to our final segment, which is answering questions. I've been personally, I've been getting emails from our website from people contacting me and everything, and I've been getting multiple emails from people from the Screw Attack website. Not the people who work there, but the people who are like part of the community. But I have been in contact with Craig, and he is an awesome guy.
So these people from the community asking you questions?
Yes, and some of it is interesting. Like one person said, asked me, it's just like, why did I start the site instead of like trying to do this on the Screw Attack website, instead of like making like a blog thing about it or something like that.
Yeah.
And the answer is quite simple. I felt like if I did it on Screw Attack, I felt like I would be creatively limited.
Mm-hmm.
I felt, because like Screw Attack used to have the ability to have videos where the G1s, the community, could post videos on their website.
Yeah.
Now you can't anymore. You can do it through YouTube and embedding it in the website, but to me it's not really the same. Then I felt like I kind of wanted to do something other than just be part of another blogging community. And I'm sorry if that offends any people who are G1s who are listening, but that's kind of what I feel like Screw Attack is kind of right now, is it's turning into the community is like a blogging community.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to do more with that. And so I was just like, well, man, I've always wanted to do a podcast, but I really didn't have anything to attach it to. And since like it's not like I could attach it to Screw Attack, they already got side scrollers, which is actually kind of what we kind of inspired me to do a podcast in the first place. But it's just something I always wanted to do. So I literally went around for like 2-3 hours on GoDaddy.com searching for possible domain names. My original domain name was originally going to be called Gameu, which is games in Japanese. That's actually owned by some company who makes car pistons.
Gameu?
Yeah. So I was just like, oh, that sucks. So I started trying to come up with all these things that are named after game freeze, game this, this. And then I realized it's like, there's already too many sites that are named game this.
Yeah.
So I kind of took a page from Screw Attack, in which they named their site after a power-up. So I just thought, like, well, what power-ups do I like? I started listing off a couple, some were already taken, and then I was just, for some reason, I was thinking about Halo, and it was just like, oh, what was my favorite power-up from that? Oh, the Overshield, because like, in Halo 1, you couldn't, like, stand in a firefight for how long, but, like, if you had an Overshield, you could, like, turn to frickin' Rambo. You can get shot and you'd just be fine.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I mean,
love the Overshield.
Yeah, because for those who've played Halo 1, the shield in Halo 1 is the weakest out of all of them. It really is. You take like 5 bullets and it's down.
Yeah.
The only thing you have left to save your ass is your health, which
doesn't last forever.
No, it doesn't. I mean, there's a reason why in Halo 1 the pistol was 4 shots to kill.
Love the pistol.
I'm glad that they left that unchanged in the Halo remake.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, you didn't know they did a Halo remake?
Well, I knew about the anniversary edition. I have not played it.
Yeah, essentially what they did is they left everything of the core gameplay, even the actual original animations are the same. But all they did was just give it an HD skin remake, so like it's completely different textures. It's the Halo Reach engine. It's not like
Well, I did hear that you can go back between the original.
Yeah, you just hold the back button, or
that's cool,
and like it'll switch between the two. And so I think that was put in there to prank people. Honestly, I don't think it was there just to say, hey, here's nostalgia.
Well,
so yeah, that's where the site's name came from. And another reason I kind of started the site, this may seem a little selfish, but I wanted to break the repetition of my current life. My life right now, as it is essentially I wake up, I go to class, sometimes like 3 days I go to work, and then I come back, study a little bit, play games, go to sleep, repeat. That sucked. It was just to me, like, it was fun, like, being in college after a while. And then now it's kind of like eating lettuce. It's just it's bland.
I agree. I'm always looking for something new to do, and that's why I really liked that you came to me. Because one, I've always wanted to do a podcast before, ever since I was listening to like the Drunk Take by Rooster Teeth. And you know, I need something to keep me busy during winter break because I just can't sit around my house all day. It's boring.
Yeah.
You know, I need something to work towards that I can, you know, see it actually, you know, go someplace. Like, I was going to ask you, what, you know, the website is going to be a focal point for the podcast and news stories, but what else are you going to be using the site for? Are you going to...
The site is...
Are you going to do, like, gameplay videos at all, or...
We can put up trailers there eventually. The site as it is right now, we're only able to host our own content and then post text to news stories. That's really the only thing we're able to do right now because we're kind of having to do it through this really crappy GoDaddy web page maker. I still need to find someone to build the website, and that is a real pain to do because I found one person, and he's like, okay, I'll build the site for you. It'll be $1,000. I'm like, hell no.
Yeah, it's a little bit too much.
It's just like we don't have the cash for that. Like, whatever cash I have right now for to spend towards the site is actually going to getting better equipment, and eventually the first thing we're going to get is a camcorder with some attachment mics to it so that we can film our own original content. And one of the things I want to have with this site, and this is absolutely key, there are two things to this site that I wanted to do that'll be to make it unique from, say, like IGN and stuff like that. One, we must have a personality. And so, like, that's kind of why, like, during this podcast, me and Parker went off on our own random conversations. We're people. We're not journalists. We're not professional by any means. We're just regular people. So, yeah, we'll ramble. We'll get off topic. We're not even following a script. The only script we have is the format of this podcast, which is the introduction and the news desk, the middle segment, the funny news desk, and then the answering the questions.
Yeah, we've got 50 minutes of raw, uncut audio, baby. Yeah! Get excited.
Oh yeah, but two, I want us to be unprofessional. Even in our own writing,
man.
Like if we're going to be doing game reviews sometime. I have somebody working to make a review of Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Sweet.
Though I'm not sure if he's going to be able to fully do it because since just everybody that I'm using right now, we're all very busy people. We are all college students, so we live really busy lives, especially during like
finals week.
Yeah, it's finals week right now, so we're dying from exhaustion here.
Might I add, it feels so good to be done with finals.
I'm not done with finals, so screw you.
I get that a lot, actually. Everyone's angry at me. I just got lucky that all my finals were early.
So, like, if we're doing a review, what's going to happen is it's like we won't. If I'm playing a game and this is quote unquote from Chad on Screw Attack, it's like if I'm playing a game and I'm like, oh, this part sucks. If I'm writing the review, I'll have to like pull out the source. This part frustrated me to this. No, it sucks.
Yeah, just say it. Just be like, I really hate this game.
Yeah, because like honestly, like gamers, we want if we're looking for a review, we want people to be quick and to the point. Because in this day and age, everybody's constantly moving. Everything's moving at a fast pace. So our reviews won't be very long at all. And so it's just like we'll be good to the point. It's like, are the graphics good? Yeah, there's this, moving on, da da da. It's like the only thing I'll ever go into depth into is probably gameplay, but even then it won't be too long. And yeah, like we will not beat around the bush on anything. We will be very straight up, and we don't have. And in terms of our review system, in terms of scoring, what I have planned is that we won't use a number system. What we're going to do is I liked what Screw Attack did for a long time before they added the number system, and it's still there, but it's not as big of a part. Is their rating system is based on 3 scores: buy it, rent it, F it. And I thought that was a genius system. So that's what we're going to use. Am I copycatting Screw Attack a little bit? Yeah, a little bit, but it's kind of hard to be a site with personality and not do what Screw Attack has already done, because they've been around for 6 years and they've done everything. And I mean a lot. I went to their site and they have like over 10 original shows that they produce.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, and then they still have all, and then even before that, below it is all this original content that they produced that they no longer do anymore. And so like they do a lot on a regular basis. So I give them extreme props to what they do. And even the people who work there, like who work for like their news team, some of them work second jobs.
So they're really committed to making it good.
And that's what I want to do. Like I really want to be. I'm going to be completely committed to this site. And once we get out of this whole crappy GoDaddy phase, which I'm not sure how long that'll last, I'm gonna try and make it last like 2 months at the max, essentially. Then we'll have the site be much cleaner. We'll be putting out stuff every day. I guarantee I will be putting out stuff every day I can. I mean, I'm not sure about you, Parker, or guys like Thomas or whatever.
Well, yeah, I do have to work as well, so at least, at the very, very minimum, it'll be weekly stuff, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, very, very, very minimum. This stuff will be weekly, and then the moment we start actually making profit off of this, you guys will see much more daily content. Once we get our camcorder out, we have a I was gonna say, like, once we get our camcorder, we actually have another segment we're gonna do where it's just random stuff, and that's just like us doing like random clips. Just like it's like what Screw Attack does, and it's one of the reasons they have personalities. They have something called Random Awesomeness, which is just stuff that doesn't even have to be related to games, and it's just funny stuff they do. Like during their last day in their office, one of the guys, Jared and Chad, they decided to test out the myth of dart versus sword. So Jared had a Nerf sword and Chad was shooting him with Nerf darts, and Jared was trying to deflect it, and by accident he knocked off one of the framed Nintendo Powers that Craig has on the wall, and he ran off.
Oh shit.
So that kind of gives you an idea what we want to do. Like we like our site is just truly about being just having full of personality and unprofessional.
But might I just add, though, that if you would like to donate, we will be setting up a PayPal account.
Also, if you actually yourself want to contribute to the website, I am still taking people who want to like write news articles or reviews. Keep in mind, I will not take anybody. If you're going to do a review, it must be in video format, and what we'll do is I will link the video to the website. But because right now we're only able to do it through YouTube, as of this point, which I have no problems with, because YouTube is a great platform.
Very much so.
Like this podcast will go on YouTube first up, and we will later on get this to iTunes. I actually took a look at how you put up podcast to iTunes, and to me it just looks overly complicated.
Is it difficult?
Actually, you have to have a Mac to do it, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, it's a way more complicated process than it needs to be. So eventually we'll get to having it up on iTunes, and if we get enough money for it, we can probably do SoundCloud and get like one of those accounts with unlimited minutes and throw our podcast up there. Like if we were to do it right now, our SoundCloud would hold this podcast and the next, and that's it. Just the free.
Very
account.
limited.
And if people, and we want to have, is we want to have, we wanted to like have like unlimited, because if you want to come back, if you want to listen to something that you thought was funny that we heard, that we said or something, yeah, we want you to come back to that. We don't want to just take that down and then someone say, hey, where's that old podcast? I loved it. I loved your first episode, or something like that. Yeah. Another question I got is, of course, over the tackiness of the website. Of course it's tacky. It's still starting out. Nobody starts a website that isn't untacky. Hell, look at Screw Attacks version 1. I've seen it. It looked awful. It looked awful, but in terms of what it is compared to now, and actually what I'm shooting for in terms of getting this website built, I want it to look a little bit more like Screw Attacks version 2.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's more, where we have like designs and everything.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, people have been criticizing the website, saying like, oh, there's the colors don't blend very well. You're using a background image that you can't, which the background image is like a picture from Halo 3. Yeah. And then it's just like, yeah, well, that's temporary. I got an idea for people who could design like logos and stuff for the website. And I'll see if they'll be able to do that over this end of the month. But right now, what you're seeing is what you'll get for the next couple weeks. And yeah, I've even gotten, like, if you haven't noticed on the website, there's actually a ticker at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
I got called out on that for that. They're like, yeah, it makes it look like really tacky and immature, and I'm like, it's like, yeah, you can check through your domain, like hosting and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, no, I can't, because I'm not hosting it. GoDaddy is, so I can't check that. And so for me, that ticker was there. I'm putting it up there till tomorrow, which today is Wednesday. We're recording this on a Wednesday, and that'll be taken down by the end of this week. The only reason that was there was for me to gauge the amount of traffic that was coming to this website, even though we got nothing on the website.
Was there a lot of traffic? What's the ticker at?
You know what? I haven't checked the ticker lately, so let's see what we're at. We are at 95, and I actually put this ticker up after a few days, and this site actually got a lot of attention the first few days, because how people know about this site initially was through Screw Attack. Because what happened was I sent a video question to Craig, and my question was just like, how do I make my site stick out? He picked my question, aired it during the video version of Site Scrollers,
really?
And then people saw me and like asking the question, and I said that my site was theovershield.com, and then like literally within like just like 48 hours, I got like 12 different emails from people saying, hey, I want to help. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, that's sweet. That's really cool, because one of the biggest problems with starting websites and podcasts and just stuff like this is the lack of people. Because
there's already so many game sites, so why should people come to yours?
Yeah, exactly. But I give you mad props for that, because that's one of the hardest parts, and you've already got 12 people lined up wanting to do stuff.
Yeah, I sent a thank you email to Craig, and he's like, oh, no problem, man. We just don't ask you to become a competitor of yours. And I jokingly replied saying, it's like, us becoming a competitor of yours? I thank you, Craig, but we can't compete with gods. But yeah, like people say that we want to be. So the people are saying like, oh, you guys are trying to be a Screw Attack copycat. We don't really want to be. I mean, it may seem that, but we don't want to be a Screw Attack copycat. We want to eventually evolve and become our own. The only reason that this podcast right now is in Side Scrollers format, similar to Side Scrollers format, is because it's popular and we want to be caught on first. And we want to be caught on. We want people to catch on to us, and then eventually we will begin to take our own shape. This is how all sites start. This is how all things start. Is that you try to replicate something that's successful, and then you just eventually evolve and become your own thing. The only people that I can know that did that differently was in fact Screw Attack, because they released side scrollers back in 2006, and they were like initially like one of the only podcasts that had as much as personality as much as unprofessionalism that they had. I mean, look at the ones like, they still do it today. I mean, Craig still makes these. Sorry, Craig, if you're listening to this, but he still makes these really. He says things he shouldn't, and I mean that. I mean that in the way that like. He says things that are possibly offending.
Yeah.
Sometimes what he says is funny. Sometimes it's just like, Craig, you shouldn't have gotten there.
Well, I guess it's like if you don't want to listen to it, don't listen to it.
Exactly.
He's just trying to cater to an audience, and you know, he might say some things where it's like he probably shouldn't have said that, but it hasn't caused him to go downhill yet. Yeah. So I guess stick with what you know, stick with what works.
All right. So okay, we need to try and wrap this up because we've gone over an hour. This is Pixels and Bits. I'm Corey.
Yeah, did you say that at the beginning?
I said we're Pixels and Bits.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm Corey.
This is Parker.
And this will be the last Pixels and Bits until after Christmas.
Yes.
Because we want to spend time with our families and relax and do fun.
Correct.
So that
is always fun.
Now personally, I will be gone until after New Year's Day. So we will pick up almost immediately after I get back.
Yeah, because I will be here all break.
That's fun.
Well, no, I really do. I don't really need to go anywhere. I don't like going out somewhere for Christmas.
Yeah, it kind of breaks the feeling, but I'm leaving for about a week, a little over a week and a half, and then we'll eventually be back, and we will cover everything that happened over Christmas. So expect the podcast to be just as long, if not longer, because our news desk will be twice as long. We will be covering all the news stories that we did miss.
Yeah, it's gonna be long. Just prepare yourselves for it.
Yeah, so if you're listening to this for a long car ride, it's perfect.
I always enjoy that. Podcasts on airplane rides are always fun too.
I'll make sure it's a boring one so that you can sleep through the airplane. I hope we're not boring.
Well, this first one might not be as pizzazzy as we want it, but this is honestly the very first time I've ever done a podcast, so we're still...
This is the first time I've actually ever done anything in terms of voiceover.
We're still working it out.
I haven't done anything in terms of a voiceover or whatnot in 6 years. Almost 6 years, because the last time I did that, I was taking a digital media class or something.
Yeah.
Back when I was a sophomore.
Yes, sir.
And,
Patrick Sasser?
No, I had a Cochran.
Oh.
I had the Ben Stein teacher. Yeah, but this is don't expect Pixels and Bits next week, because it won't be there, and it won't be back for a couple weeks, but it will be back, and we will try to make this a weekly thing.
Yes, weekly. Are we gonna do it a certain weekday, like every Wednesday?
Actually, I want to try and I want this to be a Friday or Saturday podcast, because everybody tries to get theirs out during the weekday, and I want people to listen to us over the weekend. I don't know. It's just there's not that many weekend podcasts, so we can just fit in there. There's too many if I try to do say a Wednesday podcast, that's already cluttered enough with that as it is. So I don't want to compete with in terms of like time space for people with like side scrollers or the epic battle cry or game trailers, invisible walls, and this and that. I don't want to compete with that. So we're going to be a weekend podcast. So you can expect this to be up on either a Friday or Saturday of every week after the second episode. After the second episode, which we will record on I want to say January 5th.
Let me check my my calendar here.
It'll be back up on around the first week of January.
Yeah, January 5th is a Wednesday.
Okay, so yeah, we will be back in about 2.5-3 weeks, and over the time we will try and do another piece of content. We will do top 11s, and our top 11 will be the coolest video game characters of all time.
God.
Or most badass.
Like who we personally think are really cool?
Yes, because it's like that's the thing. It's like that's what makes a good top whatever list is that it's our list. It's like deal with it. It's what we think, not what you think. So that's kind of how it is.
I will have to make a list.
Yeah, so that'll be fun, and I have no idea when we'll get that up.
Or the next podcast?
Yeah.
Are we doing it on the website?
No, we'll do the top 11. The top 11 will be a video.
Oh.
It will be a video that I will personally like hand cut and edit and everything, and that will go up on the YouTube channel, which will be linked to the website.
Right on. Well,
and I'm not sure when we'll get that done, but I will try to have that finished either before or on the same day the second podcast comes out.
Okay.
And yeah, it's going to take time to do that one because I don't have the proper editing software right now. All right. So that is all. So expect our next podcast to be, 3 weeks from now?
Yeah, a couple weeks. Just, expect it the first week of January.
I mean, we're college students. We need a break. We're tired. Our winter break is hibernation. That's essentially what it is.
Yep. With lots of food.
Yes.
And beer.
Lots of warm food, beer, turkey. Oh god, that sounds good right now. So yeah, so expect us to be back in about a couple weeks, and we will be doing this every weekend. We will, and expect our next piece of content, our top 11 coolest video game characters, to be up. Couple weeks. I'm not sure. And then so yeah, that's it. So this is Corey.
This is Parker.
And that is Pixels and Bits. See you, everybody.
Goodbye.